in 4 days.
Look at God.
In 4 days, my life went from, I don't know what I'm going to do, Lord, to thank you, Jesus. Because I really had no idea. I planned out what I wanted to do. I had no backup. And when I started to scramble, a lot of stuff went awry in my life, and people were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be okay. You know, strong Black woman.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do. And he stepped right in on time. Everybody party after their graduation. I wanted to party, but I was like, no, I got to go to this interview.
I got stuff to do.
I graduated, we went to dinner, and then drove up to Greenville to get ready for my interview. That was my span of 12 hours.
That is crazy, bro. Like,
yeah. So now I don't really plan much in advance. Now, of course, I'm planning what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna plan my trips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plan little stuff. But as long as I'm happy, that's all I look for now.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, like, listen, I wasn't expecting no particular answer. I was expecting a genuine answer, and I think being happy is the most genuine answer you can give, and that just comes from, I think when most people, when they feel like, when they give me that type of answer, they understand that they're in control of their life. But when you believe in a higher power, you really not in control of your life, because as soon as you start making these plans and then they don't work out how you thought they were, it kind of it puts you in a place of just like, dang, like you get kind of down on yourself. But ultimately, you know who's in control of your life. So when you know who's in control of your life, and you know whose you are, you understand.
I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? You understand, like, it's nothing. I can walk through life and not have so much pressure on me, because it's like I'm already being watched. You know what I'm saying? He's already got my hand. My life is in his hands already. So it's crazy that you said that, because like me, I'm like a super big like, I try to plan stuff out. I'm very laid back. I'm a Pisces at heart. Like, I'm super laid back. I can go with the flow about with anything. But when it comes down to, just me taking care of my family and just being a man of the household, I like to be planned out. But man, God will throw some wrenches in your life
every time.
And you be play me some pimping, man.
This the coldest podcast you'll ever hear. The way we coming with it, people witnessing greatness. Be a part of the journey. I would say it's perfect timing, but it's God's timing. We locked in a time capsule with this one. We got timeless topics. Guess what? I'm your mother's favorite host, your little brother's OG. I go by the name of Armand Lindsay, but the neighborhood call me Big Pig. I want to welcome y'all to Big Boss Talk, Season 2, The Rebirth. Let's ride, and welcome to a Black Man Thing.
All right, let's do this.
I still need my rematch in spades, though. No lie.
For what? You're not that guy.
Give me an adequate. Can I get an adequate partner? And my partner was.
Mine was carrying y'all. I ain't really carried y'all that night. I said, damn.
She reneged on the first game. How she carried?
And then she came back better than ever.
That set the tone for the night. Reneged. Yeah. And then we just.
It's okay to not be as good as me, because not a lot of people are as good as me, and I understand that. So it's a family thing.
Okay, and then we need to talk about this rule where if you ain't got no spades, you can quit playing. But
everyone, I'm gonna put out a poll on Instagram
Please
today.
Put out a poll.
You put out a poll too, because clearly we grew up two different ways.
This is gonna be a poll. We already recording.
And I'll put mine.
We already recording. It's gonna be a poll. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
They gonna know. I'm gonna be like, look, y'all hear this, right? Y'all let me know who right.
If he's really recording, y'all should not play me in spades, because you're not gonna win. You could be my partner though.
Let me tell you, she ain't even that good. I didn't have an adequate partner.
We have proof.
What proof?
We have videos, we have pictures, we have
witnesses. Yeah. Y'all beat us. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I didn't lose, but it wasn't
we beat the brakes off of them.
Nah. Yo, what's poppin', man? We done had a few hiccups this morning, technical difficulties, but listen, it's a good Saturday. We're gonna do a nice little conversation today. I got a great guest. Like all guests that I have on the show, they all be top notch, A1. That's P. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put nobody on there that ain't P. So This guest, okay, I'm gonna get a rundown, right? So I don't know her like personally. I know her through my wife, and you know they sorority. So I know her through that. The first way I found out about it is like, what's your boyfriend's name? P-E-E name. I'm like, first of all, she gonna have to get my name right. We ain't even gonna come like that. She ain't even know me like that to be just talking about my nickname and just disrespecting me. So that's how I knew she was gangster. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you don't know somebody and you just jack up their name.
I have an interjection.
Okay.
The only reason I said that is because Peanut ain't no peanut. So I said that nickname don't match. It just didn't go. So that's the only reason.
Okay, but nah, I knew she was good people, man. If you could talk junk, if you don't know nobody and you could just talk junk to somebody, I know you good people, or you grew around like people that just don't play. So I was like, okay, she cool. Now let me get my trash talking game up because she gonna come with it. But just getting to know her over the few years that I've known her, she like got big sister vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like down for her people, down for whatever. Just smart, very just has a lot going on and just super motivating to me. And so I'm so glad that my wife has somebody that she can call, a friend that she can just talk to, maybe look up to. But it's just super dope to see how that relationship kind of grew, how it's cultivating, and how you guys, we in the same city now. So it's going to be crazy just to see how everything starts to develop and, just to see y'all grow in each other's, lives and careers and whatever you guys got going on. So, Destiny, tell the podcast what's up.
How are you? Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Oh, yeah. I cry a little bit every time I get something like that because Maya is like a little sister to me. So I just love that. Yeah. I do.
Yeah. I remember I had to ask her to make a video for the proposal. And she was like, oh my God, is it happening? And she was like, I'm tearing up. I'm like, Destiny, chill.
I did cry. Y'all, I was in Toronto on a trip and he texted me and I literally did start crying. You can ask Kayla. Kayla's my LS. She was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, it's happening. And during the video, I took like 3 takes because I did cry.
That's so funny. But nah, that just tell you a lot about it, man. If you need her, she gonna drop what she doing and get with you. I'm super excited just for her to even say yes. Like I literally thought like, let me ask see if Destiny might want to hop on the show, and I thought she was gonna be like, nah, I'm not really in the podcast, but she was like, yeah, let's do it. And I was like, okay, bet. The energy was there, so I really appreciate it. But so let me tell y'all a little bit about Destiny. So Destiny Chatman, age 28, her career/job, she's a professional services buyer. College/degree, she has a master's of logistics and supply chain management. She went to no other than USC. She's a Gamecock. Years in her profession, she has 5 years. So she's been in the game for a little minute and has learned a lot, has seen a lot, and just she probably knows how to really play the game now and really just manage her way through this corporate America lifestyle. And we definitely want to pick her brain today. But Destiny, it wouldn't be big boss talk if we didn't do 2 truths and a lie. Black people can't lie. So I'm looking to definitely go ahead and get this lie out of the way. I already know what's going to be the lie. So hopefully you got 3 good statements that can, put me on my toes. So let's hear it.
All right. So my 2 truths and a lie. I am an avid kickball player. Love it. That's my shtick. I have no student loan debt.
Okay.
And I've been to 4 different continents.
Man, it's too easy. 4 different continents. I hope Maya listening so she can text me the lie. Nah. So look, all right, we're gonna break it down like this. So you said you paid off all your student loan debt, correct? That's one of them.
No, I said I have no student loan debt.
So you have no student loan debt. Okay, cool. So I think that's true. Y'all see how she came on the show? I ain't never had a guest come in here with the turtle, the vets. Come on, man. That's player, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh. But I think that's true. You have no student loan debt. I think that's definitely true. The ones that's gonna kind of mess me up is one. You said you're an advocate baller. Now, advocate means either you like to play, you good. I don't know about all that. So I know she asked me to play. What y'all playing? Whatever I got to sign up for. But then 4 different continents. I think that's true though. I think you like to travel. You definitely travel a lot. I'm gonna tell you the lie is definitely you an advocate baller. You ain't got no one hoop bone in your body. That's a lie.
What's my consolation prize? Because no, I am a very avid kickball player. Very avid. I actually just signed up for a league a couple days ago here in Houston. So I do hope you do join us because it's fun. I love it. Yeah. But I'm telling you, a lot of people go out there and be embarrassed because they think it's still 5th grade where you just outside playing on the playground. It is hard. Yeah. Because we are not the people we used to be. But no, I am an avid kickball player. I do not have any student loan debt because I never incurred any. I was blessed enough to receive a full ride scholarship. And that is one of my passions now is to help Black people. I like to differentiate Black and people of color. I like to help Black people end up in the same situation I was in because there is money out there. And I always say, what are you willing to do for free money? Because at the end of the day, that's what you got to do. If you got to write an essay, if you got to do community service, do that. It sets you up. I have not been to 4 continents. I've been to 3 thus far. Okay. Only 3, but I do plan by the age of 30 to hit at least 5.
Okay. So we got big dreams. I could have sworn, I know you travel, man, but advocate ball, I was like, okay, we're going to have to see.
I love to. We're going to have to see. I love kickball.
We talking about kickball, right?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Okay, we're gonna see. So, but what was that? I mean, what did you have to do? Let's talk about, obviously being able to go to school, having it paid for. Like, what did you have to do to earn like that free money? And then what was the requirements that you had to maintain during college to, keep that, full scholarship? Because we all know you can go in with a full scholarship. Doesn't mean you're going to keep it all the way because you have to keep a certain GPA and just certain things that you have to maintain. So what was that for you?
So my senior year, I didn't grow up with the most money. We were, I would say, middle class. But as everyone knows, middle class does not put you through college these days. So my mama hounded me about applying for scholarships. And it would be like little $2,000, $3,000 scholarships. And she every day, did you apply for this? Did you apply for that? And I'm thankful to have her and my dad in my corner to say, hey, you need to apply for scholarships. We're not going to do it, but we will support you. But the one she never asked me about, she told me about it. It was the Gates Millennium Scholarship. Okay. She was like, oh, you should apply for that. And she never asked me about it again. And like 2 days before it was due, they send you an email saying you have not completed your submission. So I said, okay, let me get on here. And it was either 7 or 9 essays that you had to write. And I typed them bad boys out real quick, and I submitted it. And in the meantime, I started getting accepted to the other scholarships, like my church scholarships, sororities, scholarships, community scholarships, and stuff like that. But I believe the date was April 12th. I got the letter in the mail saying, hey, you got Gates Millennium. And at the time, I was a latchkey kid, so my mama wasn't home. So I called her because you got to call to check in and say, hey, I made it home off the bus. Actually, I went on the bus. I was riding with my friend by then. I was a little grown. And I called her and I didn't say nothing about it. And when she got home, I showed her the letter and she started crying. Like she was bawling because she told me, like, Desmond, you're going to go to school. We going to figure it out. But you know how parents are. They're going to figure it out, but it ain't the best way to figure it out. Right. And she was just so happy because she knew that with that, I could go anywhere, although I had already accepted USC. But she just knew that I didn't have to take on any more burden. Like I could go to school to go to school. Yeah. And the best part about that was afterwards, I knew people that started to become teachers. So they would say, hey, come talk to my class. And you got to break it down to some students in certain areas like where I'm from. And I was like, I remember talking to this class and they weren't really listening. So I said, y'all, I get paid bands to go to school. Because I did. My refund check used to be fat. Well, I was like, I get paid bands. And all of them in turn, they was like, wait a minute. Let me hear what she got to say. I was like, y'all, it's possible. It is possible. And that was such a blessing for me because I really did go to school just to go to school. I didn't worry about anything else. Now, sometimes it was a little funny because you got to wait on your refund check, but not having that worry in the back of your head really alleviates a lot for you to focus on what you're there for. Yeah, man, that is crazy. And I'm pretty sure like now
because you don't really realize how important things are until you get older. And I'm pretty sure you realized it then, but just knowing, like, I'm pretty sure you got friends, you got people, like, you know, even myself that still have like student loan debt, and they always like, man, golly, Sally Mae, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, I ain't gotta worry about that, you know what I'm saying? But it's crazy. But then also for your parents too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know my mom, you know, obviously I went to school and had like a full ride, but then towards the end I had to stay like an extra semester, so I had to, you know, kind of pay for that on my own. But you know, my mom went to the lengths that she could to make sure that I had the money to finish, because it came down to almost 2 weeks before I was supposed to graduate, where they said you never paid your full amount for school, and they was gonna try to say like you can't graduate 2 weeks. So I'm like, my mom just like, she crying on the phone. I'm breaking down because I'm like, I done spent almost 4.5 years up here. I'm ready to go. Like, in 2 weeks, y'all gonna say nah. But to see you say, you know what I'm saying, I'm pretty sure now as you get older, like, super grateful just to not have that burden. And it's super dope to see that you trying to get other black people that same opportunity, or at least teach them, because it's gonna be up to them if they want to go get it or not. But at least,
yeah. And I'm glad you said that, because like I said in the beginning, what are you willing to do? If you don't want to sit down and write an essay, there's not much that I can, because I can't write the essay for you. I don't know your story. But if you're willing to sit down and bang out some essays real quick, and most of the time you can change a few words and it matches so many other scholarships.
Yeah.
It's millions of dollars that go unused every year because people just don't apply for scholarships.
Bruh.
So we need to be out there getting them.
Yeah, we need to. So, like, where you from? You talked about where you from. I know where you from, but where you from?
I'm from Orlando, East Side Orlando. I went to University High School right across the street from UCF.
Okay.
So when it was time to graduate, all my friends was like, "Oh, I'm going to UCF or USF." I said, "Absolutely not." I'm getting up out of here, and that's exactly what I did. I chose USC for international business. That's what I wanted to major in. It didn't work out, but that was a blessing in disguise.
Right.
So yeah, that was my start. University High School. I played sports. I did community service because my mom was always community service oriented. Mm-hmm. Of course, she is a Delta too, so she instilled that stuff in us, and it really helped because, as you know, when you start applying for those scholarships or anything, they're always like, "Oh, what is your community service?" So starting that early in life is a godsend.
That's a good tip. That's a good tip. So making sure, like, if you're trying to, apply for certain scholarships, or you're going to need to apply for certain scholarships, making sure that community service is a big thing. Like, I've applied to a couple of, scholarships before, and they did ask about community service. Obviously, I had a few hours, with the church or whatnot. But as far as just, the hours, like hundreds to 150 hours, like, I didn't accumulate that much. But if y'all listening, just make sure, like, hey, doing some type of community service can help and boost how your your scholarship odds are, when you're applying for these scholarships. So make sure you do that. So why USC? Like, I mean, you from Orlando. I talk to a lot of guests. They go to HBCUs and they go up for the HBCUs, like Bethune-Cookman, North Carolina A&T, Claflin. I didn't sit down with so many people, but why did you choose USC and then, over like a HBCU? Because just wanted to know,
So, and I don't think I've ever told my brothers. I have an older brother and older sister, so a lot of stuff that I did, I modeled it off of them. Okay. And my older brother went to USC. And when I was starting to come along, he was like, "Oh, you should go to USC." And USC has the #1 international business school for 20 plus years running. Mm-hmm. So I was like, everything I thought about was money. Like how to make the most money, what job is going to do that for me. And I like the international aspect. As you said, I like to travel. Yeah. So when I was gearing up for school, he was like, "You should go into finance, be a hedge fund manager." And so I was like, bet. So I was going to double major in international business and finance and become a hedge fund manager. That was my thought at the time. Yeah. But when I got to USC, I didn't know you had to apply for upper division for international business, which makes sense since they are #1 in the world. And I did not get in. Okay. Which was, I expected it, honestly. But what happened was they have what's called Global Supply Chain Operations Management, which is similar to international business, but it's more focused on supply chain.
Got it.
So I switched my major to GS Comm and finance. So I double majored undergrad. And it ended up being the best thing that happened to me because I ended up falling in love with supply chain. And I know y'all hear about supply chain now ever since COVID, because that's what's stopping everything. You can't get your McDonald's, you can't get your hair product. Everything is wrong. And now everybody's like, oh, supply chain. And my mom, like my family, they'll send me articles and be like, this is what you do. But all through school, they were like, we don't know what Destiny do. She's talking about supply chain or something like that. And now they're all like, oh, that's the supply chain. I'm like, yes, y'all. Although I'm not in the actual like transportation part of supply chain, procurement is a part of it.
Okay.
So when I did that, I kept my finance major just to have something, to back me in case supply chain didn't work out. Because honestly, I didn't know what it was either.
Okay.
What made me choose GS Comm was I took a class because we had a lot of prereqs just to find out what you like, and that was one of them. And I fell in love with it. One of the classes had a piece of it that was procurement, which was like negotiating and stuff. And I was like, this is what I want to do.
Okay. And
I stuck with it. I also graduated a little late. I graduated half a year late, and I ended up going to BMW in a rotational program.
Yep.
And when I got there, I didn't think they had procurement. I only knew it as a manufacturing facility. And I met someone who was like, oh yeah, I work in indirect purchasing. You should do a rotation. And I got in that. That was my second rotation when I got there, and I loved it. Every day I would ask my boss, please hire me permanently, because the rotational you did like for 2 years and then you were placed permanently throughout the company.
Got you.
Every day I'd be like, you have to hire me after this. Like, you have to.
Yeah.
And thanks the Lord he did. He was like, we need you, because the Germans started to like me and stuff. So you always have to have that connection when you're working in an international company.
For sure.
And I got that job, and it was smooth sailing ever since. Like, I've been in it since I got out in 2018.
Yeah. And
I love it.
That's crazy.
But I love the fact that I sit on this side of the table in procurement and not I have to sell part of procurement, because that's too hard. When you got a big name backing you, everything is easy. It's easy to be like, nah, that price not going to work. That's what I do in case y'all don't know what procurement is. Sorry. Yeah. Procurement is buying of I buy services. You can buy equipment. You can buy IT. I buy professional services, which is like financial, HR, consulting, marketing, and communications. I buy all of that type of stuff.
Wow. So you really, you play a major part in like businesses, because if you buying like services, HR, like those are huge processes that you need in place to even run a business. So like, and I guess, like you said, you fell in love with that side of it, as far as like just being able to go into somebody's establishment and, have a big name backing you. And you pretty much can call the shots. You're like, look, this ain't going to work. You know what I'm saying? We want to work with you, but if you want our business, like we need to negotiate X, Y, and Z. So like, do you do a lot of negotiating when you trying to acquire different services, or is it just like they tell you like, hey, this is what we need, can you go out there and get it? Like, how does that process work, on a day-to-day basis when we talk about procurement and just, buying these services? Because I'm kind of interested now, because I didn't know that's what you did. When you BMW, I thought manufacturing. So I'm like, okay, she in the office. She got to be doing something up there like high tech. I didn't know you was buying like services and stuff. So like, what does that look like? Is it negotiating, a lot of negotiating? And then what does your day-to-day look like?
Because it is a lot of negotiating. My day-to-day, so we do a little market analysis, market research, because let's say you work for me and you say, hey, Destiny, like, I'm starting a podcast and I need this equipment. Right. That's not something we have always purchased. So I might go out to the market and say, okay, well, what is the average price of the microphones, the lighting, the platform that you want to be on and stuff like that. And then I'll go in and say, okay, hey, Spotify, I need a subscription service. And they might say, oh, well, usually a subscription service is $100 a month.
Right.
And I say, well, I need 25 subscriptions because a lot of people in my company need it. And then they might say, okay, well, we can drop that down to $75 per month. And so it's a lot of negotiating in terms of, are we willing to pay that much?
Got it.
Or are we willing to, change what we've asked you for to fit our budget? But the true sign of a negotiator is to get the highest quality product or service that we expect for the cheapest price. So there's a lot of times where you might say, I need a cell phone. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got those $20 phones, the little Obama phones. Yeah, you can get those, or you can get an iPhone. But what do you want? And so what we want the iPhone for the price of the Obama phone.
Got it.
And that's what I'm doing. That's my job. I'm here to figure out, okay, if we buy more, if we buy less, if we buy so many in the future, what deals can we make? And so a lot of people are always like, oh, well, why do you do this out in public? It's because I was like, this is what I do all day. So honestly, when it comes to going out places, I'm not about to haggle with nobody, because I do that all day for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, I'm on the phone. Hey, is this your best and final pricing? Can we work on this price? Can we do this? I don't want to do that in my regular day-to-day life.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But I can do it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people catch that part of me, which I apologize afterwards. But in the time, I get it done. So yeah, so we do everything from the market research, we do the negotiations, and we also do the contracts. So I have a lot of different hats that I have to put on at different times, but that's the beauty of my job, and that's why I love it so much, is because no day is the same. I'm not buying cell phones every day. Like, one day I might buy a cell phone, the next day I might buy a tax service from E&Y, the next day I might buy computers from Apple. Yeah. So I just love that I can change it up and talk to different people. I don't like to talk to people, but when it's time to do my job, I love to do that part.
Got you. Okay, so you got like a little switch you could turn on, turn off. It's like
oh, it's quick. We all know how that works. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like this.
Clockwork, especially when you talk about my money. Yeah, we need that. Come on.
You ain't talking money, I don't want to talk. There are days when I call when they give me a price and I say, well, we don't have to continue the conversation. It can be a 30-second conversation. It can be a 30-minute conversation. It's all up to what they want to do.
Oh, no, that's boss right there. That's crazy. So, okay, I had no idea. That's what you that's what you did. So it's kind of awesome. So, but I know, okay, you left BMW and you moved to a new this newer company. Are you doing the exact same thing? And then what was the decision like to, I guess, move from BMW to this company? Did they just offer something a lot better? The money was better. How was that?
I now work for General Electric. Mm-hmm. I would say I have a lot more autonomy and more freedom at GE. BMW gave me a great start and a great base. Okay. It really helped me hone my skills. Yeah. But when I was looking for something else, the main thing that brought me to GE was the fact that I could see women in leadership and women of color in leadership. Wow. Because at the end of the day, I don't think anybody plans to be stagnant in their career. Granted, I've never been the type to be like, oh, I want to be the CEO, but at least I can see that I can get somewhere close to that by the people that I'm already seeing there. So that was one of the main things that brought me to GE. But the freedom, and I'm gonna be honest, the money, it was no comparison. I said, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's make this move. I'm the type where if I can do it, if I can move and it doesn't hurt me, because right now I have no dependents, it's just me. Right. Why not? I'm young. If something happens, I can bounce back in time to not affect my complete future. So that's what I did. I made the leap, came to Houston, and it's been great.
She a Houston hottie, y'all. Golly.
Yeah. I do love, I used to be in Greenville. And while that is a beautiful city, I would definitely go back when I do have a family. I wanted to be around more young Black professionals. Mm-hmm. And Houston has really shown me that part already. So I'm really excited to see what I can do for the community with people that look like me. Yeah,
it's crazy. Like you said, it's a lot of young Black driven people in Houston, and I lived in Greenville also. I did 6 years there. Before you got there, I was probably there for about 4 or 5 years, and then you came. But like you said, Greenville is a great place, beautiful scenery. It's definitely family driven. So like a lot of families come, you got kids, that type of lifestyle. But I guess at the time, where we're at right now, I think Houston is super wide open, and the amount of people that you can meet, the connections you can make, it's amazing. And just to see people that's really kind of similar to us in a sense, because they all looking for the same thing, the same community, the same lifestyle, the same connection. So it's always great to just be around that network of people. So what makes you good at what you do? So we talked about like why did GE hire a Destiny Chatman? Because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of people that, I'm not saying it's a lot of people, but I'm pretty sure it's people that can do what you do. But what makes you, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody wanted to be in procurement, like what skill set would they need to be like great at their job? Like in it, but then how does that translate to you? Like what are you good at that was like, I can get this done, no problem. Like, let's go.
The best skill sets. So like I said, you have to wear a lot of hats when it comes to procurement, because you're not just negotiating. Like you are doing the legwork. You're doing a lot of follow-ups. You're doing a lot of, hey, this contract doesn't look right. Or you might have to sign off on something that, multi-million-dollar deals. So you have to make sure that you are detail-oriented. You have to make sure that you're adaptable.
Okay.
Because as I said, no day is the same. So some days you might have a slow day, and some days you might have 37 calls back. So in terms of skill set, math, but it ain't that hard. Like, I got to do calculus math. It's literally adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Do the money add up? Do the years make sense? And can you divide this grand total by however many years the contract is worth? If you can do that, you're fine. You also have to be able to talk to people. You have to know your boundaries in terms of, are they really giving me a good deal? Or they just want to sit and talk on the phone? So I would say those are the skill sets. What separates me from others, I think, is my actual love for procurement, which people are like, you like procurement? And I was like, absolutely. I love procurement. So, and I think they can hear that when I was talking about it in the projects that I had worked on in my previous role, translated perfectly to what they were looking for in this role. So when she would ask me stuff, I would have a very specific project that matches whatever she asked. And if I didn't have one, I would tell her the truth. Like, no, I didn't do this, but I saw it done this way. No, we didn't do it this way, but I know there's a way to do it. So I think what set me apart was that I'm young and I can wear many hats.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, listen, if you're listening, you want to get into procurement, you know what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if you got, just look it up and see what you're about. But I think that's amazing, just to get the intel on the job. And so I'm trying to figure out where I wanted to go. I had a question in mind, but where I wanted to go, but now it's kind of going blank. But we already talked about. So you talked about, this is where I was going. Give me just the least part about your job. What do you don't like about your job? Because we can hype procurement up, right? And everybody be like, it's amazing, I want to do it, it sounds amazing, the money, this, that, and the third. But what is it that you don't like about your job? So that way people know, like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to deal with this. So if I can deal with this, then I can go into procurement. But if I can't deal with it, then I'm like, maybe this is not the path for me. So give me just one thing. I'm pretty sure it's not a lot because it seems like you love what you do. But just one of those things that just, if you could exit out of your job, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. There's a lot I don't like about procurement, actually. But the biggest thing I would say is, when it does come to procurement, while we hold the purse, we don't hold the technical decision.
Okay.
So if someone comes to you and says, hey, I need a tax service, and they work in the tax department, they know exactly what they want. I'm just here to talk about money. So if I have 3 different suppliers and we got this one supplier down really low, and then the business comes back and says, yeah, but they can't do the job we want, who am I to argue? Because I don't know. So that part really upsets me sometimes when we do go through a whole project and we get to the end and we have a great result, and then someone steps in and goes above you, which they can do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's their business. They have to make sure it's run properly. But because it's like a lot of work that you put into it for them to come back and say, okay, just kidding. We're going to do what we want to do. And we get that all the time.
Yeah.
And there are some companies where they will say, no, whatever procurement says goes. And there's other companies that say whatever the business says goes. So you just have to find that balance, and you have to know when to fight your battles. Okay. Me personally, it ain't my money. I like to control it. I like to make sure my company's doing well. But at the end of the day, if you about to argue with me about something, I will quickly email my boss and be like, hey, I need you to sign off on this, XYZ, this is what happened. It's your call.
Got you.
I am perfect at passing something off to somebody else. You got it.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, this is what you want. Sign. I'll sign the contract. Take it. That's one less thing I have to worry about. Thank you. So you definitely have to learn to pick and choose your battles when you're in a role where you don't make the ultimate decision. And that's not just for procurement. That's for anything you're in. If you're not making the ultimate decision, pick your battles, because you could be fighting every day. And that's when you end up having burnout.
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to get to that point.
Got you. I feel that. Especially for a company that at the end of the day, like, I mean, it's good to work for a company, but they probably, I mean, to me, I think they just look at us like a more of a number, right? Because if you were to, leave, they would hire somebody, within the next week or two and be able to fill that spot. So definitely picking your battles and understand. It's good to have that, pride about where you work and enjoy what you do, but also knowing that it ain't worth the stress and all that to just get all worked up and it's just never worth it. But let's talk about, the future. So let's just say, you could create your own future. No bumps in the roads, nothing that could really throw you off. Where do you see yourself in 4 to 5 years? Like, what are your dreams, aspirations within, that you want to get done?
My ultimate dream and aspiration is to not work at all.
Okay.
It is to travel the world and eat good food and not gain weight. So all things considered, that would be my ultimate goal. But since that's not going to happen, it could happen though, because I'm in the oil area. So if I find somebody whose last name is Exxon or BP or Texaco, sign me up. I will get married ASAP. But a lot of people always ask me, what are my aspirations regarding work or, your life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And my answer is always, I just want to be happy.
Yeah.
I want to be unadulterated happiness. And whether that comes from my job, whether that comes from travel, eating, hanging out with friends and family, I just want to be financially stable and happy. So if that's me being in this role I'm in right now, 5 years from now, if that's being the CFO of the company 5 years from now, hey, I'll take it. Just every day I try and wake up and say, okay, what am I going to do to make sure that this day isn't a waste?
Gotcha.
And if I smile or laugh that day, my day wasn't a waste. So I know that wasn't the answer you were looking for. Like, hey, I want to, these are my steps to the next thing. But I've never been in 5 years, this is what I plan to do, because God has his hand all over my life. And I've made plenty of plans in the past and they didn't work out. College was one of them. I thought I was going to finish college, graduate, go straight to grad school, because I had that Gates Millennium Scholarship and they paid for it.
Right.
And I graduated in December. October, GMS denied my application to go to grad school.
Wow.
And as you may know, you got to apply for jobs early to get that job when you graduate. So I was scrambling. When I say scrambling, I didn't know what I was going to do. But the fact that I interned at BMW, they knew me and I applied for that program and I got in. And I had applied for the July class. I wasn't supposed to start BMW until July. But again, God steps in right on time, because they called me. They said, hey, we want to offer you this role, but you applied for July. And I was like, yeah, I want to put my name in the hat. Yeah. And they said, well, we want you to start in January.
Wow.
I graduated December 12th, I think, was a Monday. USC graduates on Mondays in the winter. Graduated December 12th. I interviewed December 13th at BMW, and I got my acceptance or my offer that Thursday. So that would have been the 16th, I think.
Yeah.
In 4 days.
Look at God.
In 4 days, my life went from, I don't know what I'm going to do, Lord, to thank you, Jesus. Because I really had no idea. I planned out what I wanted to do. I had no backup. And when I started to scramble, a lot of stuff went awry in my life, and people were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'll be okay. Strong Black woman.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was going to do. And he stepped right in on time. Everybody party after their graduation. I wanted to party, but I was like, no, I got to go to this interview. I graduated. We went to dinner and then drove up to Greenville to get ready for my interview. That was my span of 12 hours.
That is crazy, bro. Like,
yeah. So now I don't really plan much in advance. Now, of course, I'm planning what I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna plan my trips.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plan little stuff. But as long as I'm happy, that's all I look for now.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, like, listen, I wasn't expecting no particular answer. I was expecting a genuine answer, and I think being happy is the most genuine answer you can give, and that just comes from, I think when most people, when they feel like, when they give me that type of answer, they understand that they understand that they're in control of their life. But when you believe in a higher power, you really not in control of your life, because as soon as you start making these plans and then they don't work out how you thought they were, it puts you in a place of just like, dang, like you get kind of down on yourself. But ultimately, you know who's in control of your life. So when you know who's in control of your life, and you know whose you are, you understand.
I was about to say.
You know what I'm saying? You understand, like, it's nothing. I can walk through life and not have so much pressure on me, because it's like I'm already being watched. You know what I'm saying? He's already got my hand. My life is in his hands already. So it's crazy that you said that, because like me, I'm like a super big like, I try to plan stuff out. I'm very laid back. I'm a Pisces at heart. Like, I'm super laid back. I can go with the flow about with anything. But when it comes down to, just me taking care of my family and just being a man of the household, I like to be planned out. But man, God will throw some wrenches in your life
every time,
and you be like,
and I feel like it's the wrench that He does it so you remember, like, who He is. Like, it's not like when that happened. Like I said, I planned it out, and I was like, this is my plan. This is Lord's plan. And He was like, oh, give me a second. The saying, if you ever want to make God laugh, tell Him your plans.
Yeah.
And when it happened, I was like, oh Lord, what I'm gonna do? And I was just real down on myself. But at the end of the day, yes, I was very worried, because while I like to be happy and I don't plan out stuff, I am very calculated. Yeah. So if it ain't making sense, it ain't making sense. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense to me. So when I was looking at all this and how I'm gonna do this, I had a job in college. Am I gonna keep that job until June?
Right.
Where am I gonna live? When I couldn't figure that out, that's when I said, oh, so maybe it's not for me to figure out.
Yeah.
And then everything fell into place.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a testimony in itself. Like, bump procurement, but we just gonna talk about how God works in people's lives. So, like I said, that's super dope. And I hope going in life, you could continue to keep that happiness and keep that spark as far as what you're trying to do, and try not to be meticulous about your moves, and try not to be too calculated, because we know what can happen. And that's one of the things that I had to talk to Maya about, because she's the same way, like super calculated. She wants it to go this way, that and then she a Gemini at that, so like we ain't gonna talk about the other side, but I think, this is a great way to, end the conversation. I think I enjoyed the conversation, really just getting to figure out, what you do and the love and the passion that you have for it. And it gets me excited to maybe do some research on like procurement, who all is in procurement. And so hopefully somebody's watching, they can say, all right, procurement sounds pretty cool. And I can, maybe do some research on it. And my whole goal for the podcast, and like I say, it started out with me just, personally, I wanted to help people that were like me as far as young black men. But I was like, it's more people out there that need representation. So women, right? So it's not just about the young black men, it's about black women as well. And so seeing people like you, talking to accountants, it gives them representation that you can do it, because versus being the stereotypical ball player, the stereotypical doctor, lawyer, not everybody want to do that. So it's people that's successful in different things, make great money, and look exactly like you. You just got to be able to have the resources to figure out what that is. And I hope this platform or this podcast is a resource that you can find out, like, I had no idea about procurement, or I had no idea that, you could make money with marketing, whatever the case may be. And with that, people can see this and they can get like a very heartfelt feeling of like, I know who Destiny Chatman is now. So, and it's like our own black LinkedIn. And so like if somebody, it ain't happened yet, but if somebody reach out to you and be like, hey, I saw you on this podcast, I kind of want to know a little bit more about procurement. If that ever happens, then it's like, that's it. Like, no, it don't matter like the money, nothing. But if I could just help somebody make a connection as far as like, boom, I know this person that's doing that. I'm gonna be so happy, ecstatic, and I hope it's gonna happen for sure. But that's the whole goal of the podcast, and I appreciate you for coming on here, giving us, you know, your little testimony and just telling us about your job and what you do and what you enjoy. I can't wait to, you know, be on your team with kickball. I'm super competitive.
You're gonna sign up?
Yeah, I'm gonna sign up. I'm super competitive, so I ain't gonna be out there trying to lose. But I know my body don't work the same, so I'm gonna need that icy hot and all that good stuff afterwards. And Destiny, I hope you had a good time chatting with us.
I did. As you said, if anybody wants to reach out to me, I am more than happy. Supply chain is my last ploy. I know y'all heard supply chain 37 times every day since COVID started. Supply chain is the way of the world. It's the way of the future. So you know how back in the day, everybody was like, finance, economics, supply chain. Get into supply chain. There are many different avenues that you can go down when you get there. Procurement is just one of them. If you want to talk about some other avenue, I got you. I like you said, I want to see more people like us in the places that make decisions. So
yeah,
that's my goal.
There it is. We're going to close it out like that. Destiny, the last thing is we need a recommendation. This is how we keep everything moving. So I need you to recommend somebody that you think is super dope. I think that maybe you look up to them in a small, different way. Somebody that fits the mold of the podcast, and that you know would be like, if he acts, they'll probably be like, yeah, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? So give me a recommendation.
So my person would definitely be Shay YG. So you know, everybody behind every black woman is a team of people.
Yeah.
How I can come to you and confidently say a lot of these things, I bounce that stuff off of her. So like when I was applying for this GE job, I was talking to her every day, like, I don't know what to do, please help me. When I tell you she wears so many hats and she wears them well, she is on her job about everything. So talk to her.
I got you. So we're going to get that done. So if you could just send me her information, whether it's IG, telephone number. I know people are different about how people give out their information. If you can give me that information, and then I'll reach out to her today, as soon as we get done, and then just to, you know, kind of just let her know who I am, possibly set up a time for, you know, maybe in April or something like that, because we booked and busy now. So maybe in like April, and maybe we can sit down with her. But then all I needed for you is just say, hey, Armand or PEE Nut is gonna reach out to you, and he's gonna ask you to be on this podcast. He's, you know, legit, not no scam and stuff. But just, you know, if you want to sit down, say yes. If not, it's no big deal. But if you could do that for me, then we'll be good.
Of course, I do want to thank you for inviting me and thinking so highly of me, so you can have me on your platform, on your show. So I'm a huge supporter of yours and Maya's, so anything you need, I'm always here. But thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Anytime. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna whip your tail in spades one of these days. But
he's not that guy.
I am him. But I'm gonna let you go, Destiny. You have a good Saturday. Enjoy. Have fun. I'll talk to you. Bye bye.
We back. They say, Peanut, you so cold. I want to thank you, all the bosses listening to Big Boss Talk. The people listening and watching, we love you over here. We're going to leave the same way we came in. Coming with the coldest podcast you'll ever hear.